At four, number 30, from Metamora, Illinois, Jordan Graham. The head coach for the Red Devils is Chip Wallace.
Historic gym in Fulton, Missouri, the site of this afternoon's SLEAC men's basketball contest between the visiting Eureka Red Devils and the host Westminster Blue Jays on Super Sam Cancer Awareness Afternoon here at Westminster College. Hello everybody, welcome into the broadcast booth. My name is Garrett Jones, happy to be here on behalf of our whole crew. Thank you to Westminster Athletics for having us out. You can catch the whole game on Westminster Athletics YouTube page for free. We'll jump right into the Eureka starting lineups, starting with Jaden Banks. He's out there with Jalen Hosea, Austin Jurgens, Dakota Bennington, and Jordan Dame. That's a really strong group that puts up 93 points a game for head coach Chip Wilby. As for Westminster, the group averaging 88.3 points a game. Emil Spriggs leads things off. Landon Harrison's out there with him with Jackson Altus, Ethan Thompson, and Trenton Barber. A rare start for head coach Matt Mitchell in his 19th season. Eureka in the road maroon jerseys with white piping and gold numbering. Westminster comes out in the alternate home grays. Just about set for tip. Our officials today, Greg Kalanick, Kenny Bohannon, and Evan Busen. Altus and Banks will fight for the tip. It's secured by Eureka. We're underway. Red Devils moving right to left as we describe the action. Starting off with Jordan Dame, averaging 19 points a game. Gives it up for Bennington, averaging north of 25. Three from the left wing, clips out, offensive rebound, and a nice follow for Jalen Hosea for the first bucket of the game. Eureka's a group that's not going to struggle to put the ball in the bucket. They average 93 points per game coming in, but they do struggle in the defensive end, allowing 96. Westminster could take advantage at home here today. 4-2, the home record for the Blue Jays. Ethan Thompson with 10 to shoot. Landon Harrison, not afraid to pull it. Altus with 8. Altus with 6. Emil Spriggs going to have to make something happen. Separation. Barber has to heave it. It glances off the rim. Offensive board for Westminster. Westminster coming off a tough loss on Wednesday night to Iowa Wesleyan. That was a game that they dominated nearly the entire way. As a whistle away from the basketball, let's stay with Westminster. In that contest, an 85-79 loss up in Iowa at Mount Pleasant. They led by 3 at the half. Their largest lead was 11. But Iowa Wesleyan finished on a 41-22 run to secure the victory. They never led until 3:24 left. Landon Harrison averaging 17 plus per game. Can't finish inside. And big Jaden Banks able to get his hands on that one. Banks standing at a whole 6'9". In now in the mid-range. Spins, goes up, and finishes. 4-0 start for Eureka. They come in with an 11-7 record. 6-5 in the SLEAC. Westminster at 7-10, also 6-5 in the SLEAC. These two teams in a virtual tie for the 4th and final spot in the postseason tournament. Just under a minute into this one. Altus tried a long three, it wouldn't go. Cherry picking, Jurgens in deep and he scores. 6-0 run for Eureka 2 minutes into this game. Here's Altus in the corner once again. Averaging 16.1 per contest. Gets right to the hole and skips it off the glass. Westminster itself on the defensive end gives up 94 points per game. Eureka comes in shooting a crisp 48% from the floor. Feed over for Hosea. Now for Jurgens in the corner. Spins right to the cup. Little rim luck for Dakota Bennington. Couple early buckets for him. He's got 4. He averages 25 points per game. Altus in. Rumbles in the low post and is fouled. Head man for Westminster, Matt Mitchell, in his 19th season has accrued a 245-236 record. Also serves as the school's athletic director. He played collegiately at Division I Valparaiso and then transferred to Arkansas to play under head coach Nolan Richardson. All toss at the free throw line, 87% on the year. Westminster as a team, 72% at the charity stripe. Reigns home the first. As for Eureka, the head man Chip Wilde in his 13th season, 172 wins, ranked second in program history. All toss makes good on the next one and halves the Eureka lead. A little over 2.5 into this one. Here's Jurgens on the left wing. Skips it in low for Banks. Turnaround jumper, just off. And Harrison gets up for the board. Landon Harrison, true freshman out of Elias Catholic High School in Jefferson City. Altos gives it up. Over for Barber on the right wing. A lot of ball movement for Westminster. Thompson heaves a three. It misses everything. Eureka will take it back. Eureka made its first ever tournament appearance last year in the NCAA Division III group in March. That was their first overall tournament appearance since 1994. They ran the table in the postseason tournament. Jurgens had to go halfway down and out. Defending SLIAC tournament champions, the visiting Eureka College Red Devils. Ethan Thompson then deep. Kicks over for Altos. Altos directing traffic. Cutting Harrison gets to the hole, gives it up. Good look for Altos. He goes right to the rack. Amid a double team, can't get it to go. In deep, Bennington can't finish. Board for Barber. Guarded tightly by Jalen Hosea. Altos slices in and gets to the hole. Jackson Altos with all 6 of Westminster's points so far. Pesky defense to boot. Bennington, a dribble drive. Draws a whistle. Dakota Bennington, all SLIAC last season. Going to see him get a ball quite a bit. 25 points, 7 rebounds per game. Both those numbers lead his team. 79% at the free throw line this season. First one goes to make it a 9-6 game. Eureka as a team shoots 76% from the charity stripe. The visitors from Eureka, Illinois. Early 4-point lead. Hamill Spriggs, averaging just over 9 points per contest, gets across the timeline. Spriggs with the screen from Barber. Up for Harrison, face guarded by Hosea. Another screen from Barber. Harrison to the cup, gives it up for Spriggs. Spriggs with 10 to shoot. He took too many steps. And a turnover for Westminster. That's their first, the first of the ball game. Westminster in that recent loss to Iowa Wesleyan on Wednesday night had 8 turnovers, so they did a really nice job of taking care of the ball. But it was elsewhere. Late in the game, they couldn't buy a bucket and saw a huge lead dissipate. Banks feeds to Jurgens. Nifty move around the rim, he scores. Eureka doubling up Westminster in the early going. Feed on over for Spriggs. Kicks over for Altos. Landon Harrison. 52% from the field this year. Couldn't finish in deep. Another rebound for the 6'9" Banks. Hosea lost the handle. It'll stay with Eureka. Good pace of play so far. Over 5 minutes into this one. Both teams could really use a win, each with 6 wins in the SLIAC this year. Behind the back, good look for Banks, goes right at Barber, skyhook, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar style, it goes. Banks, the tallest player on the court today by a couple of inches. Altos in the left wing, his team trailing by 8 in the early going. Finds Barber. Good idea, but nobody was there. Second turnover of the day for Westminster. And Eureka's got a chance to stretch its lead to double digits. And for the first time today, we're going to see substitutions for Coach Wildley's bunch. Kyler Stork into the ball game. He leads the team in field goal percentage. Banks is going to get a breather. We'll probably see a lot of him this afternoon. 2 20-minute halves in store for you this afternoon. Here's Jordan Dane, been really quiet so far, but he averages north of 19 a game. Bennington in low, couldn't finish. Westminster with an opportunity. Loading it up on the right wing, Will Soentrop. Can't get it to go, a rare three-pointer for him. Jurgens runs in deep, can't get the floater to go. It hangs on the rim on the follow, and Westminster ends up with it. Omar Wright checks into the game along with Makai Gilbreth. Here's Altos driving to the lane, finds Gilbreth, a triple, skips out. Fight for an offensive board, a couple of Blue Jays on it. Soentrop gives it up for Altos. He tries it from outside. He can't get it to go. Rebound for Jurgens. Westminster really struggling from the floor so far. 2 of 11 in field goals. Bennington tries a tray. It goes. 11-point lead for Eureka. Timeout, Matt Mitchell. He'll talk things over his team in an early hole on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Welcome back to historic gym here on the campus of Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. Garrett Jones, happy to be with you this afternoon in our coverage of this SLIAC doubleheader. The Westminster women got a huge win in a big comeback effort, 88-76. They topped the Eureka women. Looking for a sweep this afternoon. Omar Wright carries the basketball across the 10-second stripe. Head coach Chip Wildley in the huddle told his team there's not a lot of shooters out for Westminster right now, so they need to take advantage scoring the biscuit. Wright nearly lost it, kicks it to Gilbreth. Wright with it on the left wing with 8. Wright with 7. Tries to go right at the rim and he can't finish. Eureka dominating these first 8 minutes. Dame a 3, it won't go. Rebound for Wright. Omar Wright running the offense, reverses the ball to Will Soentrop. He dishes it. Steph Campbell into the game. Wright tries a triple, and there's a big shot for Westminster. Their first one from outside. Now 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. Dame tries a jumper. He's been cold early on. Now 0 of 3 from the floor. Gilbreth with a burst of speed, rejected. That was Chris Daniels into the game, throwing that one right back in the first row. Another substitution, Jalen Crawford going to come in for Eureka. Dame is going to get a break after a slow start offensively. Westminster to inbound, down by 8. Steph Campbell cleans things out. Right now on the dish. Takes it to the cup and one. As he streaks through the hallway, Omar Wright will go to the free throw line on a circus and 1. Wright's been a big player so far for Westminster. He and Jackson Altos make up all 11 points of Westminster scoring. Junior out of North Kansas City, Missouri, and Winnetoga High School, shooting 74% at the line. He misses his only attempt. Eureka saves it. Rumbling into the lane, drawing contact, Jalen Hosea. Couldn't get the runner to go, and he'll go to the free throw line. Eureka as a team shooting 76% at the line this season. Hosea is known more as a defensive presence. 59% at the stripe this year. Cashes home the first. He was a big-time reserve on the Eureka team that went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history. Second one goes as well. Eureka opens up an 8-point lead. No rush at all for Omar Wright. However, his team does normally play fast, averaging 88 points a game. Wright with a little space. Seizes the opportunity and lays it in for two. Dakota Bennington in deep. Shakes off the contact and gets a big bucket, averaging more than 25 points per game. Westminster trying to answer. Wright gives it up. Ethan Thompson for Stephen Brandt. Mookie Gilbreth. Nearly lost the possession. Tips out to Wright. Fortune for Westminster. They slow things down with 10 to shoot in the shot clock. Wright leans into a tray. Just off. Kicks out of bounds off of Kyler Stork, so Westminster will have 4 to work with on the shot clock. Substitutions. Ian Milstat into the game for Eureka, along with Austin Ellison. Both had a minimal impact off the bench last game. It'll be Gilbreth triggering the inbound as Eureka finally finishes making substitution. Kyle Henderson into the ball game. We've already seen all 11 roster players into the game so far for Chip Wildey. He likes to shuffle his rotation. Full group of reserves in for him right now. Gilbreth, the Fulton native, will trigger the inbound. Pumps it in for Brandt. Not a shooter. Heaves it up. It won't go. Misses the iron. And a turnover for Westminster. You credit the effort from Stephen Brandt, just a 33% shooter from outside. But he couldn't knock down a 30-footer. Although we did see one knocked down in the women's game. 8-point lead for Westminster. They're in the hole early. Eureka, 8-point advantage halfway into the first. Steal. Right, full speed ahead. Numbers for the Blue Jays. They can't finish. Daniels a rebound. 4-on-2. Daniels right to the hole. And a 10-point lead. Now Steph Campbell, the Harpersville, Alabama native, gives it up for Spriggs. Westminster looking to answer. Thompson loads it up. Halfway down and out. Board for Milstat. Full speed ahead. Now they slow things down. Around the horn, Daniels in deep. Jumper from the free throw line. Off. Westminster too focused on boxing out. They nearly missed the chance for a board. No fear. Omar Wright setting up. Amble Spriggs on the lay-in. And Westminster back within single digits. 8:57 left to go before the halftime intermission. Campbell getting a little too handsy there. He's called for his first personal. That's the team's third. Westminster making a group of substitutions. Starters back into the game. Altos, Harrison, and Ethan Thompson. And a clean 5 in for Eureka. All of the starters back in. It's interesting to see Coach Wildey in the way he jockeys his substitution. Both these coaches are extremely experienced in the SLIAC. They've gone head-to-head multiple times. Wildey in his 13th year, Mitchell in his 19th. Bennington's triple reigns home. Dakota Bennington gets it to go from outside. 11-point lead for Eureka, their largest of the day. Altos kicks over for Campbell. Thompson hit the deck, a turnover. Eureka 2-on-2. Nice move there from Hosea to skip in and lay it for 2. 13-point advantage for Eureka. Their scoring margin normally -3. Campbell's 3 halfway down and out. Harrison the follow, can't finish. Fighting for the rebound, Banks finally gets his hands on it. Bennington, his 3 goes. And for Westminster, you look down and suddenly you're getting doubled up. They trail by 16 in the early going, 31-15. We'll break shortly. Be back with you on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. And welcome back to Fulton. Westminster in an early hold. They trail by 16, largely thanks to Dakota Bennington. He's got 15. He comes in averaging 25 a contest. He reached 1,000 points on November 20th against Grinnell, and you see why. Just a natural scoring ability for him. Westminster shooting just 27% from the field. They've got the ball out of the break. Just 1 of 11 from outside for a 9% clip. Meanwhile, Eureka north of 50% on both field goals and triples. Harrison picks up a screen from Altos. He hasn't scored yet. Neither is Mickey Gilbreth. Finds Ethan Thompson. Thompson in the lane. Gives it up for Altos. Altos with 8. Spinning in the lane. Finds Gilbreth. The tray. Skips off the iron. Rebound for Hosea. He slows things down as he crosses the time mark. Jurgens in now. Lost the handle. She lost a foul. Free throws upcoming. They're going to call it on the floor, I beg your pardon. Jurgens triggering the inbound from under his own basket. Gets it up for Hosea. Screen for Jurgens, right at the rack. Drips it home. And a quick burst for Eureka. They've built it on a 10-2 run. Westminster desperate for buckets. Big shot there from Ethan Thompson. 18.3 points per contest coming in. He gets his first 3 to go. Maybe more importantly for Westminster, his first bucket of the afternoon. Bennington, no fear, right at the rack. He gets it to go. Dakota Bennington, a force to be reckoned with so far. 17 early points for him off 6 of 9 from the floor. Gilbreth in deep, right at the taller Banks. Tried to drip it home. Rebound for Dane. Westminster bringing pressure in the full court set. 6:20 before the halftime. Jurgens down low for Banks. Banks took too many steps. Jaden Banks, a junior out of Peoria, Illinois, and Peoria Heights High School. Still working on developing his game. That's only the second Eureka turnovers. Both teams playing a pretty clean slate so far. Only 4 for Westminster. Campbell Spriggs gets a little room and Drake's in for 2. junior out of Lee Summit High School. A spark plug for Westminster, without a doubt. 15-point hole for Westminster as they just now hit the 20-point mark. Jurgens wears the contact and scores the bucket. What a 1-2 punch for Dakota Bennington and Austin Jurgens for Eureka with a lot of size. Harrison had it erased by Banks, but they call him for a foul. And you respect the effort from Landon Harrison, a much shorter guard. No fear going right at the low post player. Two upcoming for Harrison, 78% at the line this season. First one goes for him. Originally committed to Columbia College in the early stages of his recruiting process, but eventually decided that playing Division III ball would be best for him. Sees the opportunity for Matt Mitchell's bunch, averaging north of 17 points a game. Got 2 on the afternoon after his first 2 free throws. Dame struggled to get it going. Mid-range won't go. Offensive rebound. Tyler Stork sticks it right in. They get 4 offensive rebounds so far for Eureka. Thompson looking for an answer. His team trailing by 17. Spriggs with a little room gets a screen from Barbara. Step back jumper blocked. Dakota Bennington making it work on both ends. Jalen Hosea gives it up for Dame. 17-point lead for Eureka. That's their largest of the game. Dame in deep. Bennington feeling it. He got whacked. He'll go to the free throw line for a pair. 3 free throws upcoming after he got hit on the 3-point play. Westminster getting dominated so far from the field, shooting just 29%. 2 of 14 from outside. Meanwhile, Eureka, quite different to say the least. 61% from the field, 50% from outside, and 100% at the line. Bennington's got 3 coming up. First one goes home. 79% free throw shooter. Already 3 of 3 on the day. Second one halfway down and out. That's a break for Westminster, keeping him without scoring at all. Brent into the game for Westminster along with Omar Wright. Matt Mitchell trying to shuffle the rotation, generate some offense. Next one for Bennington is good. Omar Wright across the 10-second strike. His team in a 19-point hole. Thompson leads into a tray. It goes. Ethan Thompson seems to be at his best when he needs to create his own shot. His second triple of the day. He's made 2 of the Westminster 3 from downtown. Dame in deep. Bennington with the dunk. First dunk of the ball game belongs to who else? 19 for Dakota Bennington. His team leads by 18. We'll break shortly and be back with you on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Welcome back to Westminster College. Our coverage of this Division III St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference men's basketball contest continues. 3:50 to work with. Westminster in a deep hole, largely thanks to the play from Dakota Bennington. 21 points for him, 7 of 10 from the field. Omar Wright tries to answer for the home team. Grant, a dribble handoff for Landon Harrison. Races inside, turnaround jumper, it goes. Landon Harrison, a gifted scorer, averaging nearly 18 points a game. Trying to get things going. He's got his third and fourth points. Jordan Dame, been quiet so far. 19-point score, has yet to get things going. Bennington feeling it. Can't get it from outside. Cherry picking, Dame is there in the passing lane. And Westminster turns it over. Spinning in the lane, Hosea took too many steps. Westminster gives the ball away and then forces a turnover on the other end. 5 for the Blue Jays, 3 for Eureka. Grant gives it up. Omar Wright directing the offense from the point. Reverses it for Altos. Corner for Grant. Thought about a triple. Drives the lane, floats it up, and in. Stephen Brandt, a junior from Westphalia, Missouri, converts on the layup. Quick 4-0 burst from Westminster. Dakota Bennington trying to change that. Already near his scoring average with 21 in the first 18 minutes of this game. Juergens spins and wins. Austin Juergens with a big bucket. 2 double-digit scores for Eureka. And a 16-point hole for Westminster with 2 minutes left to go before the half. Wright jumble, gets to the hole, lays it up and in. Scoop shot for Omar Wright goes. He's the leading scorer for the home team with 9. Both teams really need a win to support themselves in position in the SLEAC standings. Dame in deep. There's his first bucket. 19-point score finally is on the scoreboard. Westminster looking for win number 7 in the SLEAC, as are Eureka. Virtual tie for 4th. Altos tried it from outside. Offensive rebound for Wright. Tried to stick it home. Couldn't follow. Still fighting for the boards. He hits the deck. And Bennington able to get a timeout before he's called for a whistle. 47-31 at the break. We'll be right back with you in our SLEAC Game of the Week. Welcome back to the SLEAC action and our Game of the Week on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Eureka College, one of the classes of the conference, 11-7 on the season, 6 of 5 in conference play. Handling Westminster so far, the Blue Jays trail by 16 after Dakota Bennington was able to get a timeout after hitting the deck. Eureka's led by as many as 19. Chris Daniels just into the game for the road squad. Goes right at Stephen Brandt. Lost his footing and travel. Westminster forces Eureka into another turnover. 5 for the Blue Jays, 4 for Eureka. Red Devils shooting 63% from outside, 43% from downtown, and 86 at the free throw line. Story of this game so far. Omar Wright finds Thompson in the corner. Gives it up for Altos. Dribble drive. Looked like he took too many steps, but no call. And he's able to lay it up and in. Under a minute left to go before the halftime break. Hosea. Juergens posting up. Had it poked away. Back with Eureka. Feed in low. Dame right to the hole. He scores it. Big Jordan Dame with his second bucket of the game. And Westminster can hold for the final shot. Thompson heaves it up. Trying to draw a foul. He couldn't get it to go. Opportunity for Eureka. They lose it. Wright gets his hands on it. Thompson pulls it away. Jump ball possession will go back with Westminster. They've got a second to work with and a deep hole. They could really use a bucket for some momentum before the halftime break. On Super Sam Cancer Awareness Day here at Historic Gym. Mitchell's going to sub in McKee Gilbreth for some speed and some outside shooting in this final second. It'll be Altos to trigger the inbound. He's got to heave it the whole court. He does do so. Altos going to get a handle on it. The horn sounded before Altos got a hand on it. They're going to put a second on the game clock. Confusion ensues, but it looks like the referees have diffused the situation at the scorer's table. Thompson to inbound again. He gets it to half court. Altos from half court. It was online, but it wouldn't go. So that's how the first half ends. 49-33, Eureka with the advantage on the road. We'll break and rejoin you as soon as the players return to the court on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page and our SWIAC Game of the Week. And welcome back to Westminster College, the host of today's SLIAC Game of the Week here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. I'm Garrett Jones, happy to have you with us on a Saturday afternoon. Hope you're warm and relaxed wherever you are. Eureka 49, Westminster 33, your halftime score. You saw the halftime stats up on the screen just a moment ago, but I'll run back through them in case you missed them. 64% from the field for Eureka, 43% from outside, 86% at the line. That's been enough for them offensively, a team that normally can put the biscuit in the bucket at an extreme rate. Westminster, on the other hand, has not been so lucky from the floor. 36% from the field, 17% from outside, and 4-5 from the free throw line. They've turned the ball over 5 times, as has Eureka. Red Devils will get the basketball out of the break. Dakota Bennington leads all scorers with 21. Omar Wright has poured in 9 for Westminster. Eureka moving left to right now across your screen. Jurgens finds in the low post. 4 points for Dame at the break. He's got 5 and 6 there. 19-point per game scorer is on the scoreboard first in the second half. Emil Spriggs in deep. Trenton Barber in the corner. Landon Harrison from straight away. Leans into a triple. It goes. Westminster needs a lot of that if they're going to keep with this game. Harrison comes in averaging nearly 18 points a game. He had just 4 in the first half. Steal by Althouse. Jackson Althouse right to the hole. He scores with the right hand. And suddenly, just a 14-point game. Bennington in deep, gives it up for Jurgens. Or for Dame. Eureka with the starting 5. Feeding the low post for Banks. Jurgens tries a triple. Misses everything. And a board for Thompson. Westminster playing inspired out of the break so far. Freshman Harrison running the offense. Spriggs lines up a tray. It goes! How about this start for Westminster? 7-2. They've got the advantage out of the halftime break. Eureka senses it. They call a timeout. Chip Wilde will take time to talk things over with this team. We'll be back with you shortly as they break. Back in Fulton, quick burst of offense for the Blue Jays has helped them keep pace. An 11-point contest, Eureka has led by as many as 19. 7-2 Westminster run to start the second half. Jurgens gets it in. Jalen Hosea. Float for Banks, another turnover. A pair of miscues offensively have given Westminster a chance to bring it down to single digits. Screen from Althouse. Up for Harrison. Harrison leaves it short. Rebound Hosea. Jalen Hosea, more of a defensive identifying player, has 6 on his afternoon. Jurgens picks up a screen. Spriggs wanted a foul. Banks lost the handle but draws a foul. That's the first harm so far in the second half. They're going to say it was on the shot, so we'll get to go to the free throw line. On the season, Jaden Banks, 74% from the stripe. Eureka as a team shoots pretty well there as well. 76% for this group. As Banks splashes home the first. Eureka at this point 7 of 8 from the free throw line on the day. Looking for win number 7 in the SLIAC. These two teams in a virtual tie for 4th in the men's basketball standings coming into the game. Landon Harrison Hits a screen. Finds a cutting Thompson. They reset. Spriggs picks up another screen. Barber lines it up. Dials it home from deep. Splash home for Trenton Barber, and suddenly it's back down to single digits. Dakota Bennington. Great first half, quiet so far in the second. To the cup, rejected by Barber. And a defensive rebound. Dame gets his hands on it. Turnaround jumper, won't go. Board for Harrison. Jurgens hit the deck, numbers for Westminster. Harrison in deep, kick out for three. Thompson's won't go. Board for Bennington, but a foul away from the ball. This one's on Eureka. Westminster will get a chance to do a little more dirty work on the offensive end. 10-3, that's the offensive run in the second half so far for Westminster. They trail by 16 and a half. Thompson on the left wing. Over for Harrison, grabs a screen, and resets from straight away. Harrison in deep, turnaround jumper, off from the left block. Hosea gives it up for Jurgens. Inside out. Jurgens doing a lot of movement. Went right at the rack and got whacked. It looks like they get Althoff's for his second. No harm on the shot. So Jurgens will inbound from under his own basket. Pulls it up for Hosea. Bennington lines it up. That one missed everything. Tangible momentum for Westminster in these first 4 minutes. You can see Chip Wilde on the sideline. A little bewildered by the start of this second frame. Harrison gives it up. Althoff open from the point. Back over for Spriggs. Screen from Althoff. Barber and Spriggs not on the same page that time. Barber cut. Spriggs fired it into the Westminster bench. Only 7 turnovers for Westminster. They had just 8 in the loss to Iowa Wesleyan. Dame in deep. Cutting, Bennington charge. Trenton Barber's had his fingerprints all over this second half. He wears the contact that time and gets his team the basketball back. Westminster 10, Eureka 3 in the second half. Eureka's led by as many as 19. Screen for Barber. Thompson on the rip. Skips off the iron. Board for Jurgens. Dame averaging 19 points a game. Has just 6 today. Bennington wild with the shot. Chucks it out of bounds and a late foul call. The Westminster fans can't believe it. The referees, Greg Carlotta, come over and clarify there was no contact there. Evan Busen made the foul call. Chip Wiley coming over and pleading his case with Busen. But Greg Carlotta ran in and said no contact on that. Westminster's kept Eureka at bay so far in the second half. Harrison seizes a little room and Banks throws it back in his face. It'll stay with Westminster, but you see the frustration from Eureka on the defensive end after shooting the ball so well in that first half. They've cooled below 60% from the floor and below 40% from outside. Bennington frustrated. He's going to be subbed out after that electric first half. He's yet to score in the second. Barber on the inbound. Post up Dave. Gets around him. Recollects and leaves it short. Hosea directing traffic as he crosses the timeline. Banks in the low post. Double comes. Dame a mid-range jumper. Short and a rebound for Barber. Spriggs clears things out. The take with the left hand. Can't finish. Harrison a follow. Sticks it home. Suddenly just a 7-point game. Jumper for Daniels. Splashes that one home. Boy, did Eureka need that. Their second bucket of the second half. Althouse gave it up for Thompson, and he draws contact. That's something we haven't seen Westminster do a lot in the second half. They're just 4 or 5 from the free throw line at this point. Banks stays in the game after initially coming to the scorer's table for Eureka. Thompson 74% at the free throw line this season. Splashes home the first one. Stork in for Eureka, along with Ian Milstat. No substitutions for Matt Mitchell's bunch, save Stephen Brandt into the game for Trenton Barber. Second one skips out. Still a 9-point game. Dame on the left block. Up for Daniels. Right back to him. Low post. Stork spins, finds Daniels. Another jumper. Well short. 2 Red Devils converge on a rebound. Neither one can come up with it. It sails out of bounds. Westminster regains possession. Hamill Spriggs piloting the offense. Gives it up for Harrison. Harrison in deep. Hare over 13 minutes left. Althouse tries a triple. Daniel skies for a board. Daniels had his hands all over this game. Stork lost his footing. Ball finds Milstat, and it goes in. Ian Milstat drills a triple, the 5th on the afternoon for Eureka. Harrison answers. Landon Harrison, after a 4-point first half, has exploded with 6 here in the first 8 minutes. Daniels drives the lane. They're going to get Hamill Spriggs on the foul. Spriggs pleading his case. He thought that maybe Daniels traveled before the contact. Omar Wright into the game for him. Harrison and Althouse tied for the team lead with 10 points. Milstat gets it in for Daniels. Fumbles it. Wright gets whacked and draws the foul. They're going to get Dame for that one. That's a 14 foul for the visitors. Omar Wright running the offense with over 12 minutes left to go. Harrison up for Brandt. Now for Ethan Thompson. Wright, a couple steps in, lost his footing and pushed up. They'll call this one on Eureka, and they'll get Bennington for it. Bennington in that first half, 21 points, off 7 of 11 from the floor, 3 of 4 from outside. Since then, 0 of 2 from the field, 0 of 2 from outside, and no points. He's also picked up a couple personals. That his third. Grant off the inbound. Gets it for Harrison. So a 10-point game. Kick out. Stephen Brandt, a rare triple. It goes! 33% from outside. The Westminster big man can stretch the floor. Milstead lost his footing. Calls for a timeout as he hits the deck. Westminster can feel it. They're back in this game. Just a 7-point contest in our SLEAC Game of the Week. Timeout, Eureka. It was once a 19-point game here in Fulton, but Westminster has weathered the storm. They've got it all the way down to 7. Eureka still in control and with the basketball out of the break. In low, Bennington lost the handle, out of bounds off of Westminster. The Blue Jays outscoring the visitors 18-9 in this second frame. Bennington, a big part of Eureka's huge lead, but he's been shut out in the second half so far. Inbound for Dame, easy bucket for him with the right hand. And Eureka's hit the 60-point mark. Home all right. Over for Landon Harrison. If Westminster wants to come back, he's got to be a big part of it. Brandt gives it up. Althouse on the right wing. Swoops inside, lost the handle. Not a good shot that time. Eureka cherry picking. A whistle, and Stephen Brandt is called on the foul. He can't believe it, and neither can these Westminster fans. Jaden Banks back into the game for Eureka. Chris Daniels is out. Tyler Stork also getting a breather. Daniels finds Milstead on the inbound. Screen and roll. Daniels taking it himself. Jumper from 16 won't go. Rebound for Harrison. Full speed ahead, as he so often plays. Kicks on over for Brandt. Screen from him. Kick back out. Althouse. Thompson finds Harrison in the corner. Whistle on the rip through. They'll get Daniels on the push that time. Westminster will inbound from under its own basket. Clean shot clock to work with. They trail by as many as 19. They were down by 16 at the break. Althouse, where's the contact? He wanted a whistle. He didn't get it. And now Eureka with numbers. Bennington full speed ahead, lays it up and in. Dakota Bennington finally back on the scoreboard, and Eureka back with a double-digit lead. 3 goes on the other end for Landon Harrison. See if they mark it along, too. That's exactly what they do. Westminster back within 9. Bennington leans into a triple. Short iron and out. Up for Thompson, full speed ahead, right at the rack, rejected by Bennington, and laid back in by Omar Wright, but what a play by Bennington to sky and alter that shot. Eureka not out of the woods just yet. 7-point lead. Bennington finds room. Gets a whistle. Dakota Bennington, one of the elite scorers in this league. All SLIAC a year ago. He's a shoo-in for that again this year. 25 points a game, 7.2 rebounds per contest. Had a season-high 36 points last Wednesday against Greenville. 1,000-point scorer, the senior. 79% at the line. Kisses home his first. Spriggs and Barber, two starters, back in for Westminster. Eureka 8 at 10 at the free throw line today. Westminster shot pretty well from there as well. Make it 9 of 11. A rare Austin Ellison appearance for Eureka midway through the second half. Bennington's going to get a breather. Omar Wright gives it up. Slices in. 2-point guards in for Westminster. And Wright scores. Back to a 7-point game. This is the smallest deficit since the early minutes for Westminster. Ellison picks up a screen. Pesky defense from Westminster. Millstack, the give for Ellison. 10 to shoot. Ellison with 9. In the lane with 8. Turnaround jumper, tough shot, it goes. Austin Ellison, just a point per game player off the bench. Knocks that one down for mid-range. And now Wright, strong to the cup. Slips through the lane and knocks it home. 7-point game again, 8:53 left. Westminster hanging in there. Timeout for Matt Mitchell. We'll be right back with him. Back at Historic Gym, Garrett Jones here with you on our SLIAC Game of the Week on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Eureka once led by 19 points. They've seen that lead slip all the way down to 7. In the second half, they haven't seen get any smaller than that. Jordan Dame, a senior leader on this team, calling out on the bench, have some pride on the defensive end. He'll inbound it from under his own basket. 8:50 left to go. Who's going to have it in a big SLIAC men's basketball conference? Millstack lost the handle on the dribble, able to get it back. Tough defense from Brandt. Dame barely able to get his hands on it. Dame from the right block. It won't go. And two Blue Jays converge for a rebound. Omar Wright slows things down from the point. No hurry just yet if you're Westminster. Brandt with a little room. Wright on the left wing. Tries it early, shot clock, and misses everything. Rebound for Daniels. Dame in the corner. One-on-one with Thompson. Ellison slips in, goes right at the hole, and Austin Ellison been quite the spark plug off the bench. The co-college transfer, just 2 points off the bench last game. He's already got 4. Thompson in the corner. Emil Spriggs steps in. Nearly lost his footing. Fired it away. Brandt with the diving effort. You respect the hustle, but he threw it away. It stays at a 9-point deficit for the host Blue Jays. Dame again will inbound. Westminster gets a couple subs. Landon Harrison back into the game. And this 3-ball handler lineup, along with Spriggs and Wright. Banks on the left block. Thought about a jumper, had to pull it down. Ellison, he's had the hot hand recently. Banks takes a step in. Dame with 11. Blocking foul. Body contact down low. We've seen a lot of that this afternoon. Two very physical teams. Two of the elite scoring programs in the SLIAC this season. 93 points a game for Eureka. 88.5 for Westminster. Officials and players take time to clear the court. These two teams need to have a win. They are in a virtual tie for fourth place in the SLIAC men's basketball standings entering today. Only 4 teams make the postseason tournament. Eureka comes in with 11 wins, Westminster with just 7. But evenly matched in the SLIAC. Jordan Dame at the free throw line, 82% shooter. First one goes home. Eureka 76% at the line on the season. As Althaus subs back in for Barber. Westminster going with the smaller lineup. 10 of 12 at the line today for Eureka. And make it 11-13. More subs for Coach Wilde's group. Jalen Crawford into the game. Omar Wright running the offense for his team with just over 7 minutes left to play. Harrison, a screen from Brand. Harrison in deep, lost the handle. Taken away by Hosea. Hosea cherry picking. Crawford gives it up. Extra passing for Eureka. They're slowing it down. And no rush, holding on to an 11-point lead. Around the horn for Daniels. Hosea in deep, lays it up and in with the left hand. Eureka seizing momentum after letting Westminster back in the game. 6.5 to go. Harrison loads it up. Short. Follows the offensive rebound. Hosea got a hand on it, but a whistle interrupts play. They'll tag Hosea for the personal foul. That's his first personal. The team's 7. So we'll shoot in the bonus from here on out. Landon Harrison to the free throw line. He's got a dozen on the day. Omar Wright leads Westminster with 15. Harrison comes in averaging nearly 18 points a game. 78% at the free throw line this season. In the one-on-one, he misses the first. Only the third miss at the line all afternoon for Westminster. Jalen Crawford slowing things down, calling for some help. Hosea across the court. Finds Jalen Crawford. Chris Daniels drives in with 10. Right at the hole, draws contact. He'll go to the free throw line for a couple. Still waiting to see who they called the foul on. That'll be Westminster's 7th. And they got Stephen Brandt for his 2nd. Daniels at the line. 75% free throw shooter, makes the first. Westminster subbing scoring back into the game. Again, a smaller group out there. Althaus, the tallest player on the court for the home team at 6'5". Second one is well short. So a 14-point deficit. Eureka's led by as many as 19. Thompson in now, extra pass. Gilbreth gives it up. Skip in the corner. Thompson spins. Althaus to the cup. He scores with the right hand. Jackson Althaus with a big bucket. 10 points to become the 3rd double-digit scorer for Westminster. Crawford. Daniels, a jumper. Sinks it home. Chris Daniels has been big off the bench. 8.1 points per game coming in. Right. finds Althouse. One-on-one with Banks. Finds a little space, floats it up. Offensive foul. Costly giveaway for Westminster. Right back into a 14-point hole. 5 minutes in company for Matt Mitchell's squad to work with. In a game they desperately need to keep pace in the SLIAC standings. Daniels finds Dame on the left wing. Daniels rushes in. Offensive foul. And he can't believe it. Nor can the Eureka bench. Either way, those consecutive offensive fouls balance out. Thompson to inbound, finds Omar Wright. Westminster's got to play fast. Over for Althouse. Omar Wright. Wright in deep. Draws a whistle. And they'll tag Hosea for another one. His second personal, team's 8th. Daniels gets an applause as he heads to the bench. Starter Austin Jurgens into the game. Right in the one-on-one, 0 of 1 at the line today. Makes the first, so he'll get a second. Omar Wright with 16 on the day. He only averages 8 points a game coming in. Just 54% at the line off the bench. Only 7 starts for him this year. Well off on the second one. Westminster fights for an offensive board. Can't get their hands on it. It'll go back with Eureka. Banks is going to get a breather. And look at Westminster. Dakota Bennington back into the game. 25 points for him to lead all scorers. Hosea weaves in. Now he's got it on the right wing. Fires over for Jalen Crawford. Dials it up from deep and knocks it down from downtown. Jalen Crawford with his first bucket. It's a big one. 16-point cushion. Eureka pulling away. Gilbreth, a long 2. That one goes. The Fulton High School graduate and Fulton native drills it from outside. 4 minutes to go for Westminster. Time is ticking. Great adjustment from Bennington. Able to get around the defender and score, and he's got 27. Westminster whittled it all the way down to a 7-point deficit. Still down by 16. Althouse in deep, scores the bucket. 3:42 to work with. Matt Mitchell's going to call a timeout. Westminster in a 14-point hole in our SLIAC Game of the Week. Back in Fulton at historic gym, Henry P. Iba Court. Thanks for joining us for a great afternoon of basketball, a doubleheader on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page and the SLIAC Game of the Week on tap here today. It's been a good one. Westminster almost got back in it. They're down by 14, still some work to do with 3.5 left. Jalen Crawford gives it up for Dame. Finds Jurgens. Rejected on the other end, but a late whistle. Austin Jurgens with 10. 3 double-digit scores for Eureka. That's exactly what they had coming in, along with Ian Milstad, who pours in 12 off the bench. But he scored only 3 today. A lot of contact, a lot of players hitting the floor today. We've seen a lot of Gatorade towels getting usage. Eureka looking for win number 12 on the season. It would be number 7 in the SLIAC. That would give them sole possession of the 4th and final SLIAC tournament spot at this point. First one goes for Jurgens, an 84% free throw shooter. That leads his team. Second one as well. Dozen for him on the afternoon. 16-point hole for Westminster. Harrison in deep. Can't finish, draws a foul. Harrison going back to the free throw line. He's got a dozen on his day, 2 of 3 at the stripe this afternoon. And 78% on the season. First one skips off the iron. It's been that kind of day for Westminster. At one point, the game was 66-59. That's as close as Westminster's gotten in the second half. Since that point, Eureka has pulled away with a 16-7 run. Harrison misses both at the line. So a big blow to the comeback hopes if Westminster has any. Hosea for Jurgens. Tipped away from McKee Gilbreth. That was Olivia Falls making the play over there on the sidelines watching the game. She had a big game in the women's contest early this afternoon. 30 points for her. Dame in deep. Faces up with 6. Jumper goes. That very well could seal it. An 18-point lead with 2.5 minutes plus to go. Crazier things have happened. Thompson trying to cut into it. The bank is open on a Saturday afternoon. Ethan Thompson dials it up from deep. Only his 3rd triple of the day. Hosea flashes in the lane. Follow for Bennington. He's on the precipice of 30. 29 points for him coming off the follow. Harrison pulls up. Short. Defensive rebound for Hosea. Westminster down by 17. Dame, extra pass. Thompson got in the way. He'll stay with Eureka. Jumper off the inbound. Bennington had it skip off the iron. Rebound for Omar Wright. Wright rumbles in the lane. Goes up with the right hand and lays it in. Westminster back within 15. Under 2 minutes left to work with. Jalen Crawford finds Bennington. Bennington hums him in deep. Takeaway for Wright. Westminster with numbers. Springs right to the hole. Left it short. Westminster had a 3-on-1. Spriggs looked like he had the best look. And now they're sandbagging on defense. A minute and a half left to go. Cross-court pass. Jurgens rumbles in and lays it up and in. Big day for Austin Jurgens. He's got 14. Steph Campbell in the game for Westminster. Althouse in low. Up for Gilbreth. Westminster needs 3s. Spriggs couldn't connect. Westminster just 7 of 30 from outside. That's a big reason why they're more than likely going to take home loss number 11 on the season. Meanwhile, Eureka, 6 of 14 from outside. 3 of those came in the first, 3 in the second. Bennington looking for a 30-point game. He lost the handle. That's the 9th team foul on Westminster. And Matt Mitchell's bunch will have to regroup after this one. Well on their way to dropping their 3rd in the last 4 contests. First one goes for Bennington. He's got 32, approaching his season high of 36. Next one skips off. Rebound for Wright. Westminster down by 18. Couldn't finish in low. Wright the follow, sticks it home, plus a foul. Omar Wright continuing a career day. Last game he had a team high 19 points, so he's really starting to feel the hot hand. Got 20 points, an opportunity for 21. And it goes. 15-point game once again. Dame slowing things down. 30 seconds separating Eureka and conference win number 7. Eureka, next time out, will be in action at McMurray. As Hosea trips to the hole and lays it up. They've broken the 90-point mark, and they stole the inbound. Matt Mitchell's certainly not going to be happy with that one, but it will put it on ice. 91-74, Eureka victorious on the road. Westminster back in action on the road at Principia, at Blackburn next week, and then their next home game, our next broadcast on February 11th against Webster. There's the final horn. Eureka and Westminster split a doubleheader. The women get the win. The men team fall 91-74 at home here today. Dakota Bennington, your player of the game. 32 points for him to lead Eureka. 11 of 19 from the field, 3 of 7 from outside, 7 of 9 from the line. Westminster falls to 7-11, 6-6 in the SLIAC. Eureka takes sole possession of 4th place. They're now 12-7 and 7-5 in the St. Louis Evening Collegiate Athletic Conference. That'll do it for our broadcast today. Thanks you very much to Riley for handling things on the camera and our whole crew. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page.